Did you know that in Texas, drivers over the age of 70 are involved in nearly twice as many fatal crashes per mile driven compared to younger drivers? And with over 3.5 million senior drivers in the state, lawmakers are stepping in hard. In fact, several new traffic laws have just gone into effect, and they're already impacting thousands of older Texans, some losing their licenses without warning. These aren't minor updates. We're talking about mandatory in-person renewals, medical reporting by doctors, and harsh new penalties for things that used to be considered minor slip-ups. If you think you're safe because you've been driving for decades, think again. These changes are targeting drivers specifically over 65, and the consequences could cost you your freedom, your finances, or worse. So what exactly are these laws? Why are so many seniors being caught off guard? And most importantly, what can you do to protect yourself or your loved ones? Let's break it down.
Number 1. Stricter vision test requirements could decide if you keep driving. For decades, renewing your driver's license in Texas was mostly paperwork, but that era is ending, especially for seniors. Under new traffic regulations, drivers over a certain age are now facing stricter and more frequent vision tests, and failing even slightly could mean losing driving privileges. This change has already surprised thousands of seniors who believed their eyesight was good enough because they could still read or drive short distances without problems. Here's the shocking truth. Studies show that after age 65, night vision can decline by up to 50%, and glare from headlights can temporarily blind older drivers for several seconds. That might not sound serious until you realize that a few seconds at 60 miles per hour means traveling the length of a football field without clear vision. Lawmakers argue that these new tests aren't punishment, they're prevention. And statistics back this up, linking poor vision to a significant rise in intersection and nighttime crashes among seniors. What makes this law especially dangerous is how silent vision loss can be. Many seniors don't realize their eyesight is changed because it happens gradually. You may still recognize faces, watch TV, or read large print, but road signs, pedestrians, and lane markings are a different story. That's why passing your last test doesn't guarantee you'll pass the next one. What can you do right now? Schedule annual eye exams, not just when your license is due. Ask your eye doctor specifically about driving-related vision, including depth perception and glare sensitivity. Consider anti-reflective lenses, keep your windshield spotless, and avoid driving at night if possible. These small steps can make the difference between keeping your independence and handing over your keys. Number 2. In-person license renewals are now mandatory after age 79. If you're over 79 years old and live in Texas, you can no longer renew your driver's license from the comfort of your home. That's right, the days of online or mail-in renewals are officially over for senior drivers in this age group. Under the latest traffic law changes, all Texans age 79 and older must visit a DPS office in person to renew their licenses. And it's not just about paperwork. These visits often include vision screenings, cognitive assessments, and even driving history reviews. This rule might seem like a hassle, but there's a bigger reason behind it. Studies have shown that age-related cognitive decline, even in early stages, can impact a senior's ability to drive safely, sometimes without them realizing it. In-person renewals give authorities a chance to catch warning signs that might otherwise go unnoticed, like slower reaction times, memory lapses, or difficulty following instructions. It's a way to ensure not just your safety, but the safety of everyone sharing the road. But here's where things can get tricky. Long wait times, confusing paperwork, or lack of transportation to the DPS can make the renewal process a real burden for older adults. Some seniors have reported waiting weeks for an available appointment, only to be told they need additional documentation or even a doctor's note to proceed. For many, it feels less like a renewal and more like an evaluation, and that can be both stressful and intimidating. To stay ahead of the game, don't wait until your license is close to expiring. Schedule your in-person renewal well in advance and bring any necessary medical records, glasses, or assistive devices with you. Consider having a trusted family member accompany you for support. Preparing early can mean the difference between a smooth renewal and an unexpected roadblock, literally.
Number 3. New failure to yield penalties could lead to fines. Here's a law that's catching many senior drivers off guard. Texas has increased penalties for failing to yield to pedestrians, especially in school zones, crosswalks, and urban intersections. What used to be a minor traffic citation can now lead to hefty fines, points on your license, and in some cases, a suspended driver's license. If you're over 65, this is one law you absolutely need to pay attention to, because age-related changes in depth perception and reaction time can make judging distances more difficult than you think. According to traffic safety studies, drivers over 70 are significantly more likely to be involved in accidents at intersections and crosswalks, often because they didn't see a pedestrian in time or misjudged how fast they were approaching. Even if no one is injured, failing to yield can result in a serious violation that stays on your record. And with the new laws, the consequences are more severe than ever. Some drivers have had their licenses reviewed or suspended after just one offense. It's not about targeting seniors, it's about increasing safety for both pedestrians and drivers. With more people walking in busy areas, especially children and the elderly, these updates are meant to reduce preventable injuries and fatalities. Unfortunately, many senior drivers aren't even aware that these changes exist until it's too late, and they receive a citation in the mail or get pulled over. So how can you protect yourself? When approaching crosswalks, always slow down, even if you don't see anyone at first. Make it a habit to actively scan both sides of the road, especially near schools, hospitals, and residential neighborhoods. Avoid turning too quickly at intersections, and always check twice before proceeding through a yellow light. These habits don't just prevent tickets, they could save a life. Number 4. Distracted driving laws are now stricter. Think it's okay to check your phone while stopped at a red light? Not anymore. Texas has tightened its distracted driving laws, and that includes moments when your vehicle isn't even moving. Under the updated regulations, just holding your phone at a stoplight can now lead to a ticket, and the fines are nothing to brush off, especially for seniors, who are statistically more at risk of distraction-related accidents. Here's the surprising part. Studies show that drivers over 65 are often just as likely, if not more, to be distracted by digital devices, especially GPS systems, incoming calls, or even trying to change music or podcasts while driving. What seems like a quick glance can easily become a dangerous moment of inattention, and the law no longer gives grace for quick checks. If a police officer sees you holding or interacting with your phone, you could face immediate penalties. But it's not just about phones. Distracted driving also includes eating, adjusting controls, or even talking to passengers in a way that takes your focus off the road. For seniors who might already be dealing with slower reflexes or vision issues, the added distraction can increase accident risk dramatically. The law is designed to minimize that risk before it turns into a tragedy. So what can you do to stay safe and legal? First, invest in a hands-free phone mount and set your GPS or music before you start the car. Use voice-activated assistants like Siri or Google Assistant instead of touching your screen. And if you absolutely need to handle your phone, pull over safely first. These small adjustments can help you stay focused, stay safe, and most importantly, stay in control of your driving privileges. Number 5. Doctors can now report you. This one is both surprising and controversial. Under new Texas laws, medical professionals are now encouraged and in some cases required to report certain health conditions that could affect your ability to drive safely. That means your doctor, neurologist, or even optometrist can contact the Department of Public Safety, DPS, if they believe you may pose a risk on the road. And yes, they can do it without asking for your consent first. So what triggers a report? Conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, uncontrolled diabetes, recent strokes, or severe vision loss are all considered potential red flags. Even if you feel fine, if your medical chart shows symptoms that could impact reaction time, judgment, or motor skills, your license could come under review. In some cases, you may be asked to take additional driving or cognitive tests, or even have your license temporarily suspended while the state evaluates your condition. It sounds harsh, but here's the reasoning. Research shows that many seniors continue driving long after health changes begin to affect their safety, often without realizing it. Doctors are being asked to take a more proactive role in keeping roads safe, not just for you, but for everyone around you. And while it might feel like a violation of privacy, it's really about early intervention, not punishment. So what can you do? The best strategy is to be proactive and transparent. If you're diagnosed with a condition that could affect driving, talk to your doctor honestly about your abilities. Ask if you're still safe to drive, and request written evaluations if needed. In some cases, taking a senior driving course, installing adaptive equipment, or making small lifestyle changes can help you keep your license and your independence. Because in the end, the goal is safety, not restriction. If you found this video helpful, let us know by dropping a comment. We read every single one, and your feedback truly fuels our work. We put a lot of heart into creating these videos for you, so hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.
Number 6. Left lane restrictions could get you pulled over. You may have been taught to stay in the left lane if you're going the speed limit, but in Texas, that rule no longer protects you. Under newly enforced traffic laws, driving in the left lane without actively passing another vehicle is now grounds for being pulled over and ticketed, even if you're not speeding or causing a hazard. And yes, this applies to seniors just as much as anyone else, especially in urban and high-traffic areas where these rules are most tightly enforced. Why is this such a big deal now? Lawmakers say it's about improving traffic flow and reducing aggressive driving. When slower vehicles linger in the left lane, it can lead to road rage, tailgating, and sudden lane changes, all of which increase crash risk, especially for older drivers who may not react as quickly. And here's the real concern. Many seniors prefer the left lane because it feels safer or because they're uncomfortable merging repeatedly. But under the new rules, that habit could now lead to a hefty fine or a mark on your driving record. The law is clear. The left lane is for passing only. If you're not overtaking a vehicle, you're expected to move over, regardless of how fast you're going. That means even if you're doing the speed limit, you could still be considered a roadblock, especially on highways or multi-lane roads. So what should you do? Start by becoming more aware of your lane position and the flow of traffic around you. Stick to the middle or right lanes unless you're actively passing. Use your mirrors frequently, and don't be afraid to let faster drivers go ahead. By adjusting this one habit, you'll avoid unnecessary fines and make Texas roads safer for everyone, including yourself.
Number 7. One at-fault accident could skyrocket your insurance. Here's something many senior drivers aren't prepared for. New insurance liability rules in Texas mean that even a small at-fault accident can now lead to major increases in your insurance premiums, or worse, getting dropped by your provider altogether. This is especially critical for drivers over 65, who are often seen as higher risk by insurers, even if they've had clean records for decades. The updated regulations allow insurers to more closely evaluate age, accident history, and reaction time factors when determining liability. So, if you're involved in a fender bender, maybe a slow rear end at a traffic light or a misjudged turn at an intersection, your rates could spike by hundreds of dollars a year. In some cases, insurance companies may even require a medical evaluation or proof of a defensive driving course before continuing coverage. What's even more concerning? Some seniors don't realize they're being held at fault until the adjuster's report arrives weeks later. And by then, it's often too late to contest it.
The financial impact can be significant, especially for those on fixed incomes. An extra $100 to $300 a month in premiums can quickly strain a retirement budget. So, how can you protect yourself? First, consider installing a dashboard camera, dashcam, in your vehicle. It can serve as critical evidence if you're ever in a dispute. Second, ask your insurance provider if they offer safe driver discounts for completing a senior defensive driving course. Many do, and it can lower your rates. Finally, review your policy annually and shop around if your rates go up without explanation. Staying informed isn't just smart, it could save you thousands over time.
Number 8. Cognitive testing may be required. It's no longer just your driving record that determines whether you can keep your license in Texas. Under new traffic law updates, senior drivers, especially those over 75, can now be flagged for cognitive testing based on age, medical reports, or observed driving behavior, even if they've never been in an accident. That's right, you don't need to crash or commit a violation to be asked to prove your mental fitness behind the wheel. Why is this happening? According to recent research, cognitive decline can begin gradually and silently, long before someone notices memory problems. Even mild issues with attention, decision-making, or spatial awareness can increase the risk of serious driving mistakes. Lawmakers and traffic safety experts argue that regular testing could prevent tragic incidents by identifying cognitive decline early, before it results in harm to drivers or others. So how does it work? If your doctor raises concerns, or if someone reports unsafe driving behavior, the Department of Public Safety can request that you complete a cognitive evaluation. This might include memory and reaction tests, basic driving scenario questions, or even a behind-the-wheel exam. While it may feel invasive, these assessments are designed to protect, not punish. To stay ahead of the curve, it's a good idea to take action before the state does. Engage in brain-boosting activities like puzzles, reading, or memory games. You can also explore online cognitive training platforms that are specifically designed to help seniors stay sharp. Better yet, sign up for a senior driving refresher course, which not only helps with skills, but may also reduce your insurance premium. Number 9. Speed limits are being lowered in senior-populated areas. Here's a change that's catching a lot of drivers, especially seniors, by surprise. Texas has started lowering speed limits in areas with high senior populations, such as retirement communities, assisted living centers, and senior-heavy neighborhoods. The problem? In many cases, these changes aren't being widely announced, and new signs may be easy to miss, especially for drivers who have lived in the area for years and are used to the old limits. These new reduced speed zones are part of a growing statewide effort to increase pedestrian safety and respond to a rise in accidents involving older adults, both as drivers and walkers. Traffic studies show that reducing speed by even 5 miles per hour can significantly lower the risk of serious injury in the event of a crash. That's why city planners and transportation officials are quietly rolling out lower speed limits in zones where seniors are more likely to be walking, crossing streets, or entering traffic. But here's where it gets risky. Many of these speed changes are happening without flashing signs or obvious warnings, relying instead on static signs that drivers might overlook. If you're driving on autopilot, trusting your memory of speed limits, you could easily find yourself going 10 miles per hour over the new limit without realizing it. And yes, that can mean hefty fines, points on your license, or even a mandatory court appearance. To stay safe and ticket-free, make it a habit to scan for speed limit signs, even in neighborhoods you've driven through for years. Be extra cautious near senior centers, medical complexes, and community parks. These are prime areas for new limits. And when in doubt, slow down. It's better to drive a little under the limit than risk a costly mistake over a few miles per hour.
Number 10. Penalties have doubled in school and hospital zones.
If you think you're safe because you've never gotten a ticket before, think again. Texas has doubled the penalties for traffic violations in school zones, hospital areas, and other designated safety zones, regardless of your age or driving history. That means even a first-time offense, like going just a few miles over the speed limit or rolling through a stop sign, can now cost hundreds of dollars, plus points on your license. Why the harsh changes? State lawmakers and traffic safety officials say it's about protecting the most vulnerable people on the road: children, patients, and seniors. These zones are often filled with unpredictable foot traffic, people crossing outside of crosswalks, emergency vehicles coming and going, and high levels of distraction. Combine that with drivers who may be dealing with slower reaction times, and you've got a recipe for disaster. For older drivers, this law change is especially important to pay attention to. Many seniors tend to drive during the day when school zones are active and may not always notice flashing lights or changing speed limits in time. Add in age-related challenges like hearing loss or difficulty reading signs quickly, and it becomes even easier to miss a critical warning until it's too late. But under the new rules, there's little room for excuses. To protect yourself, always be extra cautious when driving near schools, hospitals, and construction zones. Slow down before you see the signs and watch for crossing guards, buses, and emergency vehicles. Consider setting a lower speed alert on your car if it has that feature, or simply make it a habit to reduce speed in any high pedestrian area.
As you've just seen, the new Texas traffic laws are more than just minor updates. They represent a major shift in how the state approaches senior driver safety. From mandatory in-person renewals and vision tests to stricter distracted driving laws and harsh penalties in sensitive zones, these changes are being enforced right now, and millions of older Texans are already being affected. Some are facing unexpected license suspensions, rising insurance rates, and expensive fines, all because they weren't aware of the new rules. But here's the good news: knowledge is power. Understanding these laws puts you in control. By staying alert, keeping up with medical checkups, adjusting your driving habits, and being proactive, not reactive, you can protect not only your driving privileges, but also your freedom, finances, and personal safety. You've worked hard for your independence. Don't let a surprise ticket or a missed eye exam take it away. So, what's your next step? Review your current driving habits, schedule a visit with your doctor or eye specialist if needed, and consider signing up for a senior defensive driving course. Small steps now can help you avoid big problems later. And remember, these laws aren't just about restrictions. They're about helping you drive longer, safer, and with more confidence. If this video helped you or someone you care about, give it a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Have you noticed any of these changes in your area? Let us know your experience. And don't forget to check out our other videos on senior wellness, brain health, and safe aging tips.